All right, since we're skiing slalom this coming weekend, all weekend long, I figured we'd have a tip of the week, and it is block and plant. You've got to block the pole and immediately plant. And I can't think of anyone better as a demo as the #1 slalom women's skier in the world, Mikaela Shiffrin. Things come at Mikaela fast because she goes fast, so you got to be quick to watch and see if she pole plants. All right, so let's take a closer look. Slow this down a bit. Here she comes in. What I like immediately is she is showing us a double pole plant. She loves them. I love them. You got to use them. They're great in slalom. They square you up. They get you forward. They get you recentered. Try them out. You can see here at the top of the course, pretty offset. So, how does she approach this gate? Well, she approaches this gate depending on where this one is. So she's got to look ahead because she can't decide how to ski this one right here until we know where the following one is. Because it's offset, she's giving herself a little more space in the rise line. She actually was very patient, got to the rise line, possibly even beyond it. And she's intersecting the rise line here. Her skis are pointed well away from the pole, right? And she is bringing the shape back to the pole. So when you hear me talk about, you got to bring your turn shape back to the pole, that is what we're talking about. You have to get it from done above. You have to, be ahead of it, in other words. All these are the same idea, but you could see how she brings her shape back to the pole, has completion done when she passes the pole. Nice level shoulders, as you can see. Gets a little blurry when we zoom in, but again, level shoulders. She's inside the pole, in the corridor. Block and plant right there. A little terrain here, so she goes for a little ride. Now when we zoom in, it's a little blurry, so it looks sometimes like there's a couple of poles, and that's just actually one pole there. But she is so stable, and there's that pole plant. I mean, it is, you can see how she blocks. The pole is actually upheld more or less horizontal to the ground. She catches it at the bottom of her pole guard, and it comes down immediately. Modern slalom, it's more of a tap to the side. Alright, so now she's coming into a hairpin. Hairpins are generally used to bring the racer across the hill. So because we're going across the hill, her focus is going to be to keep momentum going across the hill. So she doesn't try to ski across, down, and this way. I mean, her goal, she's got to get herself from this gate over there to this gate right here. And she's got a hairpin in between. So you could see where's her focus, where is she orienting herself towards? It's right towards this gate, and she never loses sight of it. Enters the hairpin, exits with a strong exit with direction. And you could see all she wanted to do was move in this direction. Now, sometimes we have hairpins without offsetting gaits above and below, so we can run them pretty straight. And again, you can see where she's blocking. She's blocking with the pole more or less horizontal to the ground. She's blocking towards the bottom of the pole guard. And she should quickly drop the pole down to plant. It's in position to plant. You can see it, it's right there. And since she doesn't push the pole down or push the pole away, the hand is ready to just, with the wrist, drop it down. Another hairpin, you can see, she alternates hands. You have two choices. You can inside arm clear the first, and then use the same hand to cross block the exit for a strong exit. She alternates. That is the better way, but you got to be quick. What else can we see about her? Well, you know, she's not all hunched over, right? Her upper body is more or less the same angle of her shins. She's got nice ankle flexion. But you could see she's not all like hunched over. Fairly erect upper body. What else can we see? Typically slalom, particularly when it's offset or steep, it's a retraction in here. We don't really stand up tall on weight. You know, she's not standing up yet. The most extension is at the top of the turn right there. Retracts, gets the feet to the other side. And again, not all hunched over. And there's her block. You can see her blocking with the pole horizontal and actually pointed a little bit, you know, down the hill per se. Catching at the bottom of the guard. And a quick plant right there. Retracts a bit, moves forward, gets the hips up over the boots, not hunched over. Here's a flush, obviously clearing with one hand. So she does try to run this straight initially, but because the gait after the flush is offset, you can see she gave her feet room. She came out with the feet more or less a little bit and had a strong exit going this way. So that's when you hear us talking course reports. We need strong exits out of all the combinations, which, you know, may or may not be the case, but if it is, it means we have to exit with direction. She has her direction done. Very stable. Retracts there. Gets the feet to the other side. Lets her feet come under her as she crosses over them. And moves into the new turn. She's very active. And she blocks and plants. There it is. Block and plant. Helps her get off the ski quicker. Helps her get more quicker recenter. Block and plant. It's kind of one motion. And here's another hairpin. So same idea. She had to get herself to that pole. All right. So here's where she started from. She's got to get that pole. She has to get herself across the hill. So she doesn't come across down and exit. She tries to take this diagonally, and you can see her focus, her upper body, her chest was pretty much coming. When she came around here, that upper body was going to the pole after the hairpin. Never lost sight of that, and this was her target right there. Gets herself inside, right? Produces some nice angles. Gets her feet well outside from her. You know, in the combination, she'll narrow her stance a bit. But modern slalom, it's not a super wide stance to begin with. I mentioned that in the free skiing with Thomas Grandi. The biggest change in the last 5 years, probably the stance is narrowed. You know, shoulder width is comfortable. The feet aren't plastered together. But it's much quicker. There's less distance traveled. If she had her feet another, 6 inches wider, well, it would be an extra 6 inches every gait. Well, there you have it. Mikaela Shiffrin, #1 slalom skier in the world, shows us how to block and plant and more.